Welcome back to the U-Man channel. My name is Oliver, and today we got a new project. I need to do some recording out in the shop using my iPad, and there's no good way to study that thing or to be able to record by yourself when you're out there. I took a look around online to see what I could find as far as tripod mounts go for these things, and I didn't find anything that looked very robust or anything that looked halfway decent. Was ridiculously expensive. So we're going to build our own. Tripod I'm going to be using is this Bogan. It's a nice heavy-duty video tripod, and it uses these adapter plates with a little 1/4-20 screw in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a base that has a riser on the back with a big slot in it, and then we're going to make a little holder, a little slide that'll go up and down so you can adjust it, so I'll be able to hold anything from my iPhone all the way up to my iPad, and if somebody needs to put something bigger than the 11-inch iPad in there, it'll even fit the big 12-inch plus ones. So we're going to take a look and see what we got laying around the shop to make this out of. Spent a couple hours putting together a nice little design this afternoon, and we'll get this thing going and see how it turns out. Alright, we found some aluminum in the material racks. It wasn't exactly as I designed it, so I changed the design to fit what I had. I'm going to throw it in the mill, cut everything straight, and get the holes drilled, tapped, clearance holes put in, and also just square up some of the rough edges on some of this raw material. Just going to do some nasty, quick, down and dirty cleanup cuts on here to get this one edge straight. And we'll get to drilling and tapping the other stuff. Going to mill a little 1/8-inch deep step, leaving an 1/8-inch lip on the end just so that it has something to grip to and that the thing doesn't inadvertently pop out too easily. I think we're also going to put some kind of thin rubber padding or something on the bottom for extra grip. And now for the back upright piece, we're going to mill this slot through here. A 1/2-inch slot for the retainer to go into so it doesn't flop around and wiggle too much. Now I'm going to give you a prime example of why I don't do more videos. It's predominantly because I forget to record half of the stuff I do. After I finish the machining, I clean the parts up real good, and what I use is a carb choke cleaner, and it leaves no residue on the parts. Does a real nice job of cleaning things up. Just so I can demonstrate for you guys here, what I did was I just took a scrap piece of aluminum, and what we're going to do is we're going to powder coat it. Got a little powder coating set up here. It's a system made by a company called Powder by the Pound. This is their Spectra Coat system, and what you do is you get a little jar of colored powder, which is a plastic type powder, and it uses an electrostatic system where there's a negative charge on these rods that are hanging down here, and the gun puts a positive charge on the powder as it sprays it using very light air pressure, and that causes the powder to adhere to the part. So we're going to shoot a little powder onto here. Oops. And then again, this is going to be much easier once I have my new stand set up. I'll be able to film this on the stand and use both of my hands. So from here, the part gets, I have what I use in my little baking hooks, because you don't want the powder to cook onto your charging hooks. Otherwise they become insulated and will not take the negative charge. So I'll transfer the part onto one of these hooks, and then we'll go and take them over to my oven. Got a lab oven that we got with one of my business purchases, and this thing will take a temperature. I usually set it to about 25 degrees hotter than the powder needs to cure, so that I can achieve this powder requires 400 degrees metal surface temperature. By setting it to 425, and baking it for about an hour. That usually achieve the temperature that I need and cure the powder properly. Sometimes I'll leave it in a little bit longer, depending on how thick the parts are or how thick the material is. And it's a great durable coating. And you can buy the powder. You don't have to buy the bulk quantities from Powder by the Pound, but you can buy it in little 1 pound bags, so you can get a whole bunch of different colors and not break the bank. Parts have been in here for about an hour and 15 minutes now, so it's time to turn it off and take them out. Look at that, beautiful. As soon as the powder or the material cools down, they're ready to handle, and the powder is fully cured. There's no need to wait for 24 hours like with paint, which is one of the things I really like about this process. So we're going to put this fan on here, let it blow some cool air into there, cool off, and we'll be ready to put it together. After about 20 or 30 minutes, the parts were cool enough to handle, and I took them out of the oven. Everything looks really good. This is I think this is called Durable Wet Red, and it does show a lot of fingerprints. I got some 1/4" stainless hardware that I'm going to put it all together with, and a little knob on the back. You'll see that I put a little slot in here that the hex head of the screw will fit into, so I don't need to try to retain that while I'm tightening it, so the head won't be able to spin, which will be nice. So let me take a couple minutes here to get some wrenches and put this thing together, and we'll be right back and show you the finished result. And here we have the finished product. Got the adapter on the bottom and our little mic mount over here. I'm going to have to make a slight modification on that, I found, because I have this Rode Video Mic ME, and it used to go into my old iPad using the 3.5mm audio jack, but the new one doesn't have that. So I got an adapter, got it on eBay for a couple bucks from China, which will allow me to still use this with the new iPad that has the, I believe it's USB-C connection. And I just have to figure out a different way to rig this up to get it onto there, because I can get it to stay on there the way it is right now, but when I add the windsock, not so much. So anyway, we got the adjusting bar here, which will allow me to loosen it here and adjust it up and down. This will fit everything from the smallest iPhone all the way up to the biggest tablet that I have, and then some. And again, that screw recessed in there is easy one-hand operation for loosening and tightening. I think one other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some thin black rubber material and attach that to the bottom just to give it a little more grip, so that the iPad or whatever you have in there won't slip out so easily. Let's get it hooked up and see what it looks like on the stand. And here we have the finished product. Turned out pretty good, if I do say so myself. The iPad is viewable from the backside, and you still have the ability to use the camera on the other side and use the main screen as your monitor. The microphone I've been able to get to stay on there, but if it gets bumped around, I don't think it'll hold, so I do have to make a modification to that mic stand on the side there. But doesn't fall out when you tilt it. I'll feel a little more confident about that once I put the little rubber padding in the bottom there, just give it that little extra grip. And the red looks nice with the red iPad case that I got on it. I wish there was something I could do about this, but I guess the only thing to do there would be to take the iPad out of the case if you're using it, if that's going to bother you. But there's really nothing underneath there that needs access, so just got to get the handle. You got the tilt function. So pretty good looking unit, I think. Alright, well, thank you for joining me on another adventure here, and I hope everybody has a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon with the next project.